Damn. If I had to lose 50 pounds at 55 years old again, knowing everything that I know now, this is exactly how I would do it. Okay. No meal plans, no calorie counting, no perfection required, to be honest with you. Just 4 weeks, basically 28 days to take back control. That's all it takes, gentlemen. And I want you, it's going to start Sunday night. See, here's the thing. I don't want you to start this on some random Tuesday when you're tired and you're reacting to the week. Okay. I want you to do this on a Sunday night. Why? Because Sunday night is when we as men typically slow down. This is the night where we think clearly, right? And you get to decide. You know what? I'm done living and I'm done looking like this. Now, here is something important though. You've got a wife at home and you need to talk to her about this. You're not asking for permission, but you are going to talk to her about being in alignment. Okay. Because this works a whole lot better when the house isn't working against you. So, Sunday night, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go strip down, put on your gym shorts, and you're going to step on the scale. This is just a starting point. You are going to measure your waist. You're going to measure your chest. You're going to measure your arms. You're going to measure your thighs down here. And you're going to take photos. I want you to take both front photos and side photos, both sides. I want you to break out a notepad and paper, a journal, whatever you want, and you're going to write a few things down now. And gentlemen, you need to be honest with yourself. That's it. What are your energy levels? Write them down. Where do you feel good in your body? Where do you crash during the middle of the week? Right? Your cravings. When do you typically have cravings? Write those down. If every Friday afternoon, towards the end of the work week, you want that 7-Eleven hot dog that's been sitting on the roller machine for the last 4 hours, write it down. And how you've been feeling currently. Do you feel run down? When do you feel like you don't have a lot of energy, right? I want you to write down, do your joints hurt? Which joints hurt? Do you feel inflamed? Things like edema or neuropathy in your feet, in your legs, right? Gentlemen, this actually matters. And it's because this is the last time you are going to guess as to whether or not this is working. We go into week one. And week one isn't about going strict keto. This is about learning to take back control. Week one is where you start stopping the damage that's being done to your body. Now, it's not going to be perfect, and I'm not asking you to be perfect, but it is going to be immediate. So, let's go through the non-negotiables first. These are non-negotiables. You have to cut these out this week. First, all liquid sugar is gone. I'm talking sodas, even diet sodas for now. Fruit juices, sweetened drinks. You know what they are. Those are out for the next 30 days. I would recommend replacing them with sparkling water, flavored zero sugar drinks like Crystal Ice or Kirkland's signature version of it. Okay. Whatever you need to make the switch. Also, gentlemen, alcohol this first month is out, all of it. Now, it's not forever, but for this reset, it has to be gone. Now, we've got another thing here. Let's call it the bread rule, okay? If it's holding your food together, it's gone. I'm talking buns, sandwich breads, wraps. Take the meat, and leave the bread. And you're not trying to be perfect just yet, okay? Pastas, rice, we're going to start reducing those. I want you to reduce those by at least 2/3, okay? And same with certain fruits. To be honest with you, Berries are fine. Strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. I love blueberries. And the reason being is they are low glycemic. Lean into those, you know. But if you're eating a lot of, say, bananas or apples or excuse me, mangoes, you need to really start pulling those back. Again, cut those by, say, 2/3. We're not overhauling your entire life this week. This is about learning to regain control. This is what you are going to do. Okay. You are going to increase your proteins. Okay. If you normally ate one hamburger, one cheeseburger, now you're going to eat 2 beef patties. Notice I said patties. You're going to eat more ground beef. I've got a video how ground beef pretty much saved my butt, doing keto here. You're going to eat more eggs, okay? More chicken thighs, chicken breasts if you want, tuna fish. Eat the goods, good clean protein, salmon. I want you to keep it simple. This is not a week where I want you to get fancy, okay? And if you're a coffee guy like me, even your coffee needs to really get cleaned up. Swap out the skim milk or the regular milk and replace it with heavy whipping cream. Okay, something that's good full fat. That's going to help keep things like that, or what's going to help keep you satiated, right? And you need to start cutting back, way back on the sugars in your coffee. If you have a zero sugar alternative, go ahead and use it. Not, but if you have to have a little bit of sugar in your coffee, again, cut it by 2/3 if you can, just less. This gets you moving in the right direction. Now let's talk about real life. Okay, you're at work, someone brings in donuts, or you hit that point in the day where you just want something, right? You are going to want to snack. Make it protein, meat sticks. I'll give you an example. I brought a couple out here. These are Bavarian little land yoggers my wife and I purchased. These make a great snack. My personal favorite are these chomps right here. Okay. Again, make it a protein, make it, something nice and clean. Hard boiled eggs are a great way to induce that, induce satiety. If you had extra leftover meat from the night before or from dinner, eat that. What I don't want you doing is defaulting back to what I like to call convenience store carbohydrates, just because they're there, right? Eat those Chomps meat sticks. They're easy to throw in the truck, which is why I do. I drive truck for a living, and it keeps me out of the vending machine. And if you want, I'll throw a link down below in the comments section and in the general description if you want to take a look at it. We're still in week 1, and here's what you're going to need to expect. The first few days, you may not feel great, okay? There might be some slight headaches. You might be irritable. You are going to have cravings. That is normal. When you have those cravings, again, go eat a meat stick. That's normal. Don't consider it a failure. You're not failing yet. You're not doing any of that. This is your body trying to adjust. See, week 1 isn't keto. Again, it's learning to take back control. Okay, this is you proving to yourself that you can take back how you eat, even with a full work schedule, even in real life. You've made it through week 1, and you've done something most guys can't or even won't do. You've proven that you can take back control of your health one bit at a time. Now we're on to week 2. This is where we start locking those things in, okay? This is where you get more intentional. It's not harder, but tighter, okay? We're going to clean up the rest of the carbs now. Grain-based foods, breads, pastas, rice. All those high glycemic fruits like mangoes and apples and bananas, they're out. Okay. Week one, you reduce them. Week two, you are removing them. Now, I know you guys love your potatoes. Okay. You're still having potatoes, but you need to start controlling those portions in week two. And you're not going to be piling them up on your plate anymore. I'm talking small amounts. If you like hash browns with your eggs in the morning, just a small portion of hash browns. Okay. You get that big, nice, you've gone ahead out and you've bought some nice big ribeyes or New York strips, and you've got baked, and you like your baked potato, right? You like your baked potato with your steak. This week, you're cutting that baked potato in half. You're not going to eat the whole thing. And that includes the toppings. Okay. Now, let's talk about salads for a second. Low carb salads without a lot of fruit in them. We're talking the leafy greens, broccoli salads, coleslaw. Coleslaw made without sugar is amazing. Okay. But let's be honest, most salads that guys eat are going to be drowned in salad dressings. And 95% of those salad dressings are loaded with hidden sugars. We're talking carbs and seed oils, cheap ingredients that are made, that are in there to make it more palatable, right? You need to start pulling those back now. And it's even better if you can remove those salad dressings completely. Almost all of my salads I eat now, I put a little bit of vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and olive oil on, and pepper. That's all I put on my salads. Now, here's the really big one, though. Okay. All highly processed foods need to go. Those prepackaged snacks you tossed into your lunchbox, gone. Okay. Stopping at 7-Eleven for a candy bar or a bag of chips, gone. Anything that doesn't resemble real food, you need to cut it out this week. And yes, this is going to get repetitive. Gentlemen, we're doing this on purpose. Okay. Because repetition builds consistency, and consistency will get you your results. Now, when you get home, you got to keep your food simple. This is, again, no time to get fancy. Ground beef, eggs, chicken, bacon, butter, pork, fish. Keep it simple. And while we're at it, now's a good time to get rid of the margarine. Okay. Replace it with that real butter. Eat the same meals if you need to. Okay. It's no time to experiment. Okay. I know you're looking up keto friendly recipes. I'm going to tell you, a lot of the keto friendly recipes out there are really not keto friendly. This is not the time to experiment. This is about building your system that you can actually follow. Now, here's what's going to start happening. Your hunger is going to start to subside. Okay. It's going to start to stabilize. You're not going to want to feel like you're chasing food all day like you used to in the past. Matter of fact, there may be days, I'm just going to say this, there may be days where you forget lunch because you're simply just not that hungry anymore. Okay. And you may have inadvertently just fasted for the very first time. See, gentlemen, week 2 is where the lifestyle starts to feel normal, for lack of a better phrase. Okay. It's not easy, but normal. And that right there is when you're starting to go down the right track. Week 3 is where things are going to start to change. Not just what you're doing, but how you are going to start to feel. Okay. Your energy should start improving here, whether it's beginning or the middle of week 3. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be noticeably better than week 1. Okay. Your cravings, this is where you're going to start to see them drop off like a cliff. Okay. That constant pull towards sugar and junk food, this is where it starts to lose the grip on you. Okay. It starts losing its appeal. Even the thought, like I said, I'm a truck driver. Once a month, we have our manager bring in cases upon cases of donuts for a safety meeting. I look at the donuts now and it makes me feel icky just even thinking about eating them, right? And here's the other thing, gentlemen. This is where most guys notice the first real visible changes in their body. First and foremost, your face is going to start to lean out. Um, there's going to be some puffiness that is going to start to go down, right? That's water retention. Water retention is the first thing that's going to start shedding off, and you'll notice it in your cheeks, right here, in your jawline, right? Your face starts looking different. And now understand this. This is not the vast majority of this is not fat loss yet. Okay. You are nowhere near what is called fat adapted. And what fat adapted is that your body has chosen and realigned itself to eating and consuming and using fat for fuel. You're nowhere near that yet. A lot of this, again, is just your body dropping the excess water. Your inflammation starts to come down. You remember that edema in your legs, maybe some neuropathy? You're going to start seeing a little bit less puffiness, maybe in your ankles and your calves, maybe your knees, right? That's your inflammation coming down. Those are the first signs that something is working. And I'm going to tell you something else. I get excited talking about this because I remember when this happened to me. You are not going to be the only one that notices these changes. Your wife will notice it too. And maybe your kids. She may not be able to explain what looks different, right? But she is going to notice. And when and if she says something about it, I'm telling you, gentlemen, you're going to walk around feeling like you are 10 feet tall. Because when my wife noticed those early changes in me, that motivated me more than anything else in the world to keep going. And this is where something changes mentally for you too. Okay. You start thinking, all right, maybe I can really do this long term. Maybe I can really do this for the rest of my life. But I'm going to warn you, this is where a lot of guys also mess up. They start feeling better. They think they've got it all figured out and they loosen things up too early. Okay. You cannot do that. Um, you need to stay with what you've got here. You keep the meal simple, keep the structure tight. You need to keep the junk food out. Gentlemen, week 3 is the momentum week. This is where you stop forcing the lifestyle and actually start believing in it. Okay, gentlemen, we've made it to week 4. A lot of men never make it this far. Okay. They quit when the cravings hit. Maybe it's in the end of week 2, maybe it's week 3, but they quit. They quit when life gets uncomfortable. Okay. But you stayed with it. Congratulations. Because now week 4 is where you start proving this, not only to yourself, but to your family and the people around you that love you. Because week 4 is no longer about surviving the change. Okay. This is about building the foundation on how you're going to eat the rest of your life moving forward. By the end of week 4, Sunday, I want you back in the same pair of gym shorts that we started this month on. Try to get the same lighting if possible, same angles. Step back onto the scale again. Pull your journal back out. Remeasure everything: your waist, your chest, your arms, your thighs. Then compare those photos from, say, 30 days ago to the photos that you take today. Okay? Because this is where most men finally start seeing what's been happening to their body. Now, I don't want you measuring weekly. Okay? Like I said, keep everything, including the photos, down to week 4. All right? Because I want you to build up that excitement. Because this is, like I said, this is where men finally start seeing what's been happening to their body. Your clothes should be fitting differently. Those shorts that you just put on to weigh yourself in, maybe feeling a little bit looser. Your belt may already need a little tightening, maybe even up to another notch. It's not uncommon within a month because men lose weight differently than women. Okay. It's not uncommon for a man to lose anywhere from a half inch to almost maybe an inch that first month. I tell you, when you realize that, man, a lot of the early weight, by the way, is still water coming off the body. Your inflammation is coming down, but your body's changing. Your body is learning to become fat adapted. Okay. And even if you don't look dramatically different yet, the measurements and photos will prove it. Okay. Because, gentlemen, this is when things start getting real. Okay. You may not notice the daily changes while they're happening. Okay. But side by side, that's where you start seeing the difference. And this right here is the most important part of week 4. You are not trying keto anymore. You are now living differently. You've built structure, you've built discipline, and most importantly, you've proven to yourself that you can actually do this. Because the first month was never about perfection, it was about momentum, it was about getting control back. And now that you've built a foundation, that your family may start benefiting from it too, right? More energy, more presence, more life. We're going to talk about some real life scenarios. Because let's be honest, people are going to start asking questions, right? If they're used to you eating 2 or 3 donuts in their safety meeting and now you're not eating them, people are going to notice. But I'm going to give you a couple scenarios here. Let's say one of your kids has a birthday party, right? Normally, you're eating the cake. You're eating a large slice of it because you're dad. The dad tax is real. You're drinking the soda. You're doing what you've always done, right? However, you don't need the soda now. Drink the sparkling water. You know, pack it with you. I also don't want you isolating yourself, though, from your family either. Have a small piece of cake if you want one. But that giant piece that you used to eat, now cut it down by a third at least, and maybe scrape off a little bit of the frosting. The point is, you're learning control now and you're trying not to binge. You're trying to break that binge behavior. Another scenario, let's say you're out golfing with the guys and somebody wants to hand you beer. Now you've got a decision to make. Maybe you say, listen, guys, I'm trying to get my health under control right now. I've got some things I need to figure out with my body first. I can't have that beer right now. And yeah, you're probably going to get a little ribbing. Maybe there's even a little bit of shit talking, right? That's normal. That's what guys do. But here's what may also happen, because it happened to me. One or two of the other guys are going to start noticing the changes in you, right? And eventually, when nobody else is around, they're going to come up to you and quietly ask, hey, Scott, what are you doing differently? And you're going to feel pretty damn good about telling them. If you want more help getting started, I'm going to link a video right here or right here of the 5 keto influencers that I personally trust the most. Okay. These are people who help me understand this lifestyle better. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. These gentlemen are. And except for one, but it helped me. These videos help me stay on track. And I am pretty sure they'll help you stay on track as well. Because at the end of the day, this was never about losing weight. This was about becoming the better man you know you're capable of being because of your better health. Let me know in the comments down below, gentlemen, if you've done keto before or if this is the first time you're going to do it. But let me know. I want to hear your success stories. I want to hear your struggles. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.